Hello everyone, in this video I'll show you how to create this card animation using two different approaches. Let's go!
The visual vibe.
All of these materials you can find on my Patreon together with animation file. So this is my scene, and before we start I'll show you that I already created the card in Figma. It's pretty simple. I have some kind of icon here, the title and the number. The card itself is empty, so there is no fill. Of course you can add it if you want to, but for me it's much easier to use the PNG file. So the real size is 536 to 400, so I will export in 2 times. Right here you can see export the card, and then let's add it as a plane. So I will remove this scene and this scene too. So this is my objects, this is my scene, it's empty. I'm going to image, plane, and let's add the card texture. There we go. So this is my card texture. So what I'm gonna do, I will hit tab, now E to extrude, and add a little bit thickness. So I will basically solidify the card. So now card, as you can see, is not flat. What we need to do now, we need to hit Ctrl R to add the vertical cuts, and then additionally horizontal one. Now let's select, I will probably move to this view, select the corners. Now I hit Ctrl B and let's add the round corners. Okay, so let's apply scale, object, set region to geometry. So now we have this card. So how to make this card visible? Because right now we have alpha channel connected to alpha, so it's visible. I will remove it. I will not remove it. What we need to do, we need to add the background. So I will duplicate the principal BSDF, add a mix shader, and add this material to a mix shader. Now I need to take the card texture. I will duplicate the card texture, this one I remove, and combine, connect the alpha to the factor. This what happened, so I need to change the order of the principal BSDF. There we go. I will do next, I will select this face, the faces from here, go into the materials and hit assign. So this is the card texture. Then I will create one more material, let's call it card back, and I will do next, I will select again the card, go into edit mode, go into the select and hit invert. With selected card back here, I'm click assign, so now this will disappear. Now what we need to do, we need to just simply we need to simply set up the colors and the same roughness. So I will go with 0.3. The color is the same, and here I will also change to 0.3, and the color is the same. So the card is ready. Now let's add the bevel. So we'll have beautiful edges right here. Let's increase the segments and decrease amount to something like this, maybe even more segments. Shade out to smooth, Let's decrease here a little bit more. 2.5. Yeah, looks nice. And let's add the subdivision modifier. Okay, so the first card is ready. Now we have the card, we have the subdivision, so it should be smooth. Let's add a few more. I will hit Shift D, hit Y, so they will be moved by Y axis. As I said, I already have the materials, so I will probably remove this one. Let's adjust the width S by Y. Okay, it's fine. And few more again by Y axis. Let's select the card texture 3 and again the card texture 4. As I said, all of these materials you can find on my Patreon. 5, 6, 7. I'm looking for green one. Green blue. Oh, this one. So yeah, it's much better. So let's additionally add the plane rotated by Y 90 degrees. It will be our background. Let's add a color like a BG and something a little bit greenish but desaturated. Sorry, decreased in light. This is what we have. Let's add some kind of light. I would go with the sun. Okay, rotate and 5 for the strengths. Let's increase angle. We don't need to have harsh shadows, so this will be fine. I'll probably duplicate the sun and put it somewhere here with the 3, so the elements will be with beautiful glowing edges right here. See? Let's add one more to the area, something like this. And rotated by X. Okay, so now we need to add the camera. So this is my camera. Go into view, align active camera to view. Now let's set up camera focal length to something right here, and this is how we have our cards. Now let's animate it. Going back to solid. So as I said, you have two options. In this case, I will show you two options how to animate it. Let's add a filter and remove it. Okay. So the first option, same as for the Microsoft animation. You need to go and find the wave modifier. You need to remove the cyclic. What you need to do else, you can decrease the speed down to something like 0.04. Let's add offset to something like 30. And we need to add the empty. I would go with plane axis and rename it as wave target. So now if I'm going to the start position, I need to select the object as a wave target. So if you need to somehow navigate with your object, you can see that you can easily do this with this empty object. Even if you animate just this empty, it will be already really cool. Okay, so this is our the main wave targets. Additionally, I will create an empty sphere, and we need this one to animate all of them moving together. So I will select all of the cards. Additionally, I will select the empty, and then the last one I will select the empty sphere. I'm going to the object, parent, object. Now we need to select the first card, and then the rest of them. Again, the first one, so the first one will be selected with the yellow color, go into the wave and copy to selected. So now all of them work together, right? So if I play the wave, you can see the wave is applied. Let's a little bit set up the wave. I'm going back to the previous step. So this is the wave. It's, you see, too sharp, right? So I will decrease narrowness. And increase the width. Maybe a little bit less height. Okay, now it's much better. It's not this sharp. And probably we need to increase the subdivision modifier like this. Okay, again, copy into the cards, just because we don't need to do this for each one of them. Copy to selected. So now we can animate first the sphere. So I'm going to the frame 0, hit I, move into the frame, let's say 30, move in the frame. I see these two cards are not connected. Card, empty. Object, parent object. Again, selecting the sphere, go into frame 36 in this case, move into the first, moving a little bit by y-axis, hit I again to add the keyframe, and then let's say at frame 84 we move it back, so I even can copy and paste the keyframe, right? So this is the animation we have. Now what we can do, we can move each one of them additionally. So let's say the first one, hit I. So they will have different position here at this point. I will probably turn on the recording of my actions. I will move it like this. What I can do additionally, I can change here, let's say, the rotation by y-axis. So again, I will select all of the cards. I'm going to object, transform, and randomize transform. So we need to find the y right here. And also we can randomize a little bit by z. So some of them will be higher, some of them will be lower. Hit I. So they are aligned, then the wave, and then going back. Now you see we have some problem here, so we'll probably move it even more. There we go. Let's take a look how it looks like from camera. Okay, it's nice. But at the very end, right here at the frame 80, we need to move them back. So I will go here and change the rotation. 0, 0, 0, and 0. Same for Y. Oh, sorry. Same for Z. Like this. Let's take a look one more time. There we go. Okay, so as I said, if you want to, you can increase even more the randomness. If you go again to transform, randomize transform, you see. And at the very end, they going back to the very first. This is the first option, how we can animate it. The second option, and I will basically just copy all of this into one collection. Select, select, select. A new collection. I will call it wave. Okay, and now let's duplicate collection. And we call it not wave, but warp. And I will show you why. So let's remove this one and call and work with warp only. So what we need to do, we need to go to the modifiers and remove the texture. Remove from the card texture the wave modifier. There we go. So now the animation is just simply like this. Nothing else, right? What we need to do, we'll select the first card, which is the main one, go into the modifiers, deform, and we have here warp. So how it works? It works like you need to squeeze the cards between two elements. Therefore, you have two things, object from and object to, and it will be hanged between these two objects. So let me show you how it works. So we have wave target. I will rename it as a warp, and we have our main empty. So I will select as a from the main empty and to as a warp empty. And now we have here strands, we have here fall off and the texture, of course. But let's take a look what will happen if I start to move the warp empty. You see? This is how it's behave. I will isolate it just for you to show how it works, and this is actually how it works. So let's take a look what we can do. Let's move it back to the 0 like this. So we have small deformation here. I will increase the size of empty to remove it. So now we have our card as it was before. Let's go to the cards and remove the decrease the strands from 1 to something like 0.5. And now if we move the empty, we can create something like bouncing effect. And together with the movement for the card, it will be the same as a wave, or at least almost the same. We can change the fall of texture. So right now it's smooth and you can see it clearly, it's smooth. But if I change it, let's say to sphere, it will be a little bit different, like this. More rounded, more spherical. Depends on your purposes, you can change it. From sphere you can go to the root, and of course in this case it will be even more harsh in the middle. Maybe to visualize it clearly, I will change the strands to 1. This is the root, this is the sphere, this is sharp, and this is linear. So I will go with the smooth, trans 0.5, and of course you can change the radius right here. More than this, you can animate radius if you want to. I will go with 1 as it is. So let's go back to our cards. Again, I'm selecting all of the cards. The last one, I'm selecting our main card, going to copy to selected. So now all of them will have the same animation as the main card. So I'll go with animation of the position for the empty. We have the first frame, we have, let's say, frame 24. Let's move the empty to the front, then a little bit back, then again to the front, and at the frame 84 moving back and a little bit more to the front. So it's, again, as I said, some kind of bounce animation. Let's take a look what we have. So I created a bouncing animation for these cards, but in the same time you can create something more clear, like in my previous example. So in this case I need to remove all of these keyframes, and at the frame 36, like this, let's move it a little bit back, and then at the frame 48 we going back, and then somewhere at 96 we are going to the first frame. Now it's almost the same as with the wave modifier. Of course you can increase the trends up to 0.75, and in this case you will have more impact on the object. You see, but now we need to change it for all of them, because we are going to the next object. So I'll go back to the 0.5. Let's go to rendered version. This is the pre-render. I'm going to the side panel. This is the plugin or add-on, the beta render. What we can do here, we can change the size from 720 to 1080 high quality. I think in this case I'll go with the horizontal, speed up the animation, number of samples up to 111, and from the default I'm going with the filmic, and maybe even a little bit change the brightness to something like this. Yeah, it's much better. And this is actually it. This is how you can animate the cards with the warp or wave modifiers. As I previously said, all of these materials you can find on my Patreon, together with beta render add-on. And thanks for watching. Subscribe for more content. Thank you.
The Visual Vibe.